Mandragora is a 2.5D dark fantasy RPG. I think it's an innovative and captivating video game that anyone with 30 to 40 hours of free time should engage with. And here's why. The primary gameplay loop for Mandragora borrows aspects from multiple genres and combines them seamlessly. The subgenres that the game heavily draws from are Souls-like and Metroidvanias. The Souls-like features are slightly more subtle. Think inherently punishing combat that blends together base class and gear combinations to tailor builds. The flavors of Metroidvanias come through a bit more forward. Obviously, it's mostly two-dimensional, has a good bit of platforming, and you traverse and unlock areas of the map in a similar fashion. The classes in the game all feel unique, and it really defines it as an RPG. I have found myself really enjoying how much of an influence my class choice has on my gameplay experience. There's a lot to enjoy for fans of multiple genres. The story is something that really surprised me when I booted up this game. I went in completely blind, and I was delighted to find well-crafted, concise dialogue that was presented by talented voice actors. The game begins in the world of Faildoom. You are an inquisitor set on a path to rid the kingdom of all things evil. Firstly, a witch. Fairly cut and dry for a fantasy setting, but it really is how the developers chose to progress the story that's kept me interested from start to finish. Accompanied by some slight moral dilemmas and some mysteries unveiled, the gameplay aspects of Mandragora are not the only things worth complimenting here. I would really like to emphasize how much I enjoyed looking at this video game. I can tell the developers put a lot of time and effort into making the 2D world come alive. More often than not when playing 2D games, even if the visuals are pleasant and well done, they always feel like their purpose is to fill space in the background. This is not the case with Mandragora. Over and over, I find myself stopping to take in what is around me. Every new environment that I entered felt distinctly individual from the last. Sometimes I would focus in on the background and find a reused asset here or there, but I think it was done really tastefully. Well done, Primal Game Studio. Difficulty and balance is a topic that I was really excited to write about for this game. Having many Souls-like characteristics, a lot of people would default to preparing for frustration. After 20 hours into this title, I can definitively say everything I have experienced up to this point has been a masterclass in difficulty creep. Sure, you're going to have to run a boss a few times before you can master the mechanics or plan your attacks, but that's the fun part. The slower pace really opens up room for player and class expression, which I believe makes it feel like you're beating the game on your terms. At no point have I felt too weak to participate, but I also can't be lazy with simple combat encounters. Most people think the game's final boss is difficult past the point of frustration, but if there was going to be any obstacle that was that hard to overcome, I think it should be the final one. Overall, I'm happy with this structure quite a bit. For the game-specific category for Mandragora, I chose the boss design. The boss design for Mandragora is something really special to me. For starters, the main bosses are structured in a way that playing through the areas and fighting the basic enemies prepares you for the fight. It does a great job of show, don't tell when it comes to cementing mechanics in your muscle memory. It's done to an exceptional degree. When you enter areas, all of the mini-bosses function as wellness checks, where if you're able to overcome them, then you're ready to explore past them. The thing is, they're not just beat sticks. They all have engaging mechanics, which take some time to learn, and it makes it feel worth your time. This is an area where Primal Game Studios will reuse assets like the model of this giant, but change the abilities so that it feels like you're fighting a different boss. It successfully avoids the Elden Ring syndrome of reused assets head to toe, and I'm very happy about that. As good as the mini-bosses are, the major bosses in Mandragora have some of the best boss design that I have seen to date. They feel like raid bosses almost. They completely nail complexity in a way that gives them depth without feeling unnecessarily drawn out. And visually, they are stunning. I will say this is possibly the game's strongest attribute. As always, thanks for stopping in. Let me know if you've had the opportunity to play Mandragora yet. Also, if you have any games that you recommend I review, drop those in the comments as well. See you later.